Hey, thanks so much for pushing play. I really do appreciate you taking 2 minutes of your life to hear this little story. So I just spoke at a youth conference this weekend. It went awesome, and you guys, thank you so much for those of you who are watching and who loved me and my Cheeseballs this weekend. We had a great time. After the youth retreat, I had to go to the bank, and so I drove to Cub Foods in Minnetonka because that's the area I was in, and I took my purse out of my car, and I saw the Cheeseballs in the back, and I was like, oh, you know what? I am frankly kind of sick of the Cheeseballs, and I needed a little break, and it was a little bit embarrassing to think about walking into the grocery store in the bank by myself with the Cheeseballs, and so I decided to leave them in the car. I'm sorry, Cheeseballs, but I just needed a break. So I went into the bank and I started filling out all the forms, and then I realized, oh, I left the check in the car, and so I walked back to the car and got the check, and as I was about to close the door, I saw the pack of Cheeseballs in the back seat, and this little voice in the back of my head somewhere said, you know, Molly, you should really bring the Cheeseballs into the bank. And I was like, what? Okay, first of all, that is not me. And so first thought was, okay, is that God telling me to bring the Cheeseballs in the bank? Why would God be telling me to bring the Cheeseballs in? And second of all, no. And so I said no to God. I said, I'm not going to bring the Cheeseballs in. I don't feel like it. And then it just kept tugging on me, saying, come on, bring the Cheeseballs into the bank. And I stood in the parking lot with the door open and my hands on my head saying, God, I don't want to bring the Cheeseballs in the bank. Please, give me a break here. And I was leaving to go without the Cheeseballs, and man, I just had this thought, what if I'm supposed to bring the Cheeseballs in to somehow break the ice with someone that God wants me to connect with for some reason, and if I don't do it, I may never know what God had planned in the bank in Cub Foods. So reluctantly, I slung the Cheeseball backpack over my shoulders and I walked into the bank. You know what? From the very minute I stepped into the bank, it was awesome. There were 3 tellers. It was Trevor, Jenna, and Carissa. If you guys are watching, thank you so much for the 10-minute great conversation we had. I got to tell them all about my Cheeseballs, and Trevor ate my Cheeseballs, and they also all three of them agreed that I should not wear this ring on my left hand because they think that people will think I'm married. And by the way, I am single, so they said I should definitely get the promise ring resized and put on this side, so I'm thinking about it. Anyways, we had a great conversation, and I got to give them my cards, and it was wonderful, and that was good enough. But then this adorable little girl, Cassidy, spelled with a C, right, Cassidy? Okay, good, thank you if you're watching. And her mom came into Cub Foods, or TCF, inside of Cub Foods, and she asked for a Cheeseball right away, and when she got it, she had the biggest smile. It was so cute, and then she wanted a picture with me so she could be on my blog, so I gave them a card of mine, and they're probably watching the video right now too. And so thank you so much, you guys, for taking my Cheeseballs and letting me bring joy to your world today in the bank. And then I did my stuff at the bank, and I walked out of the bank into the main Cub Foods section, and there was 10 or 12 adorable high school girls that were bagging groceries for Minnetonka Golf, I think, Minnetonka High School. And so they kind of gave me a look and wanted to know what the Cheeseballs were all about. And so I stopped, and I had this captive audience of like 12 adorable girls, and I started telling them that I'm a speaker, and this one girl named, oh my gosh, don't tell me. Okay, I forgot. I'm sorry. I forgot your name. Please forgive me, but I'm going to look it up. Anyways, okay. No, I need to remember. I need to remember. It's a really pretty name, like Anna. Oh my gosh. Wait, stop. I'm going to go look. Alana, that's it. Oh my word, okay. All right, her name is Alana, and that's a really pretty name. And so, sorry, I forgot, dear. But Alana and her friends were standing around me, and Alana said, have you spoken before to a bunch of girls, like over Christmas? And I said, yeah, did you hear me? And she said, no, but a friend of mine heard you, and she said that you were really good. And I'm like, whoa, cool, thank you. That's awesome. So whatever friend of Alana's said that I was a good speaker, thank you so much. That was really encouraging. And I got to take a picture with the Minnetonka girls golf team at Cub Foods, and got to connect with them and give out cards to so many people and bring smiles to so many people. And I walked out of Cub Foods and I just laughed and I said, thanks God Thanks for speaking to me about something as small as Cheeseballs and as ridiculous as Cheeseballs. And it gets better because then I came home tonight and I got an email from someone, I don't know who they are, but they said, Molly, my girls love you, and you actually met one of them today, Alana. She sang your praises in an email to me this evening. We're having a beauty bash in a few weeks, and we're hoping you could be our speaker. Oh my goodness. That's awesome. That is so cool. And I think, if I hadn't listened to that little voice in my head and put the Cheeseballs on my back and gone into Cub, then I wouldn't have had this email, and I wouldn't be being asked to speak at this girls' event in a couple weeks. And all the people in Cub Foods who got to smile, like Trevor and Jenna and Carissa and Cassidy and her mom and Alana and her girls, it wouldn't have happened. And so I just think that it's really cool how God wants to be involved in every part of our life, and that he can even use something as silly as Cheeseballs to make people smile and to teach us lessons too. And so I'm going to try to do a better job at listening to God, because I don't want to miss out on the blessings that he has, not only for me, but for the people that I come in contact with. So I think I'll be bringing my Cheeseballs even more places. And again, if you are watching this because you met me somewhere, I want to thank you for taking time and for listening to my story. And I know it was a little bit longer than 2 minutes, but thanks so much, and I hope you have a fun time looking through my blog and that we come in contact again. Have a great night or day or morning whenever you're watching this. For me, it's 2:04 a.m. and I need to go to bed. Okay, good night.